This is Tech Gears, my name is Levi, and today we're going to go over some of the different cages available for the Sony A7C.
Put the place up. Put my face up.
Guys, thank you for joining the channel. Hopefully you're going to find this helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. But unfortunately, I don't have a secondary camera. I used to have the ZV-1. I did sell that because I am anticipating hopefully getting the EV-10 so I can actually use some of my different lenses. But today we are going to be talking about some of the different cages available. The reason I said all that is because I'm recording on the A7C. So I do have some B-roll footage and hopefully that can help and kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about. The first cage that I think is the most popular and people know about, I think has a great name in the industry, is your Smallrig cage. Now, this was the first one available. There were some other really chunky and clunky ones available on Amazon. So I got this pretty much as soon as it came out because I did find the grip on the A7C a little small. Depending on your hand size, your finger length, the width of your hand, your grip is going to be anywhere from kind of comfortable to just not comfortable at all. So I don't think anyone's going to grab the A7C and be like, man, that is perfect. So with my grip, I actually keep my pinky below the grip. And I do find it's still a fairly secure handle. So it's not that bad, and I do like that it stays very small. But I did want something with a little bit more grasp to it. And coming from an A7R3, where I also had like an L rig or an L bracket on it, where I felt like I had my whole hand and I felt very comfortable. That's kind of what I wanted for those occasions where I'm holding the camera all day if I have a gig. For every day, I think no cage is just fine. So the Smallrig cage does provide a little bit of underneath coverage where you would think your pinky can lay, but it's not quite there. It also has some side grip here, so it allows your hand to kind of wrap around and gives a little bit of distance between your palm and the grip. So that itself is fairly comfortable, but at least from my pinky size, it's just not comfortable on the bottom. My pinky just has nowhere to grab and ends up going either underneath or on top, and it's just not a comfortable grip. But everything else on the Smallrig is perfectly done. I love how they have 2 points of contact, so when you're screwing it in, it feels very anchored in and very solid on the camera body. I also love how it has connection points all over the camera, and you take it for granted that things are centered, like on the top, or you have the additional mounting holes in the left and the right, as well as you have just these anchor points right here on the corner. And again, these are ones that you take for granted that it has until you see some of the other models that don't have these little things. One other small detail is you have one tool that allows you to tighten both aspects of your Smallrig. So you can tighten the screw on the bottom as well as the smaller screw on the side without having multiple things. All in all, very well thought out. Everything works very nicely on it. I just wish the grip was a little bit better. Now, of all the cages available on Amazon, this is the only one that looked a little bit more streamlined. This is by Wepoto or Wepoto. I'll put a link in the descriptions below. And this reminds me of a grip I used to have in my 6500. I'm not sure if that was a Smallrig cage or not, but what's nice about this is this extends the grip of the A7C bottom almost perfectly and flush and gives a nice place for your pinky to sit. So at least from my hand size, not for everybody, the grip on this is amazing, super comfortable. I thought I found the best grip and I was ready to shout it, make a video and help you guys out like this is the one you want to buy. But there are a few caveats that are really stopping me from recommending it. First off, something that doesn't bother me, but a lot of you guys don't like, is going to be the fact that the battery opens up separately. Now, I actually really like that because essentially it allows me to get to the battery a little bit easier, and I think it's just kind of cool. So, but some people don't like that, just keep that in mind. Secondly, it comes with two tools, one in the bottom, one on the side, so you actually have to use two different tools to screw it in from the bottom and to screw it in from the sides. Now this does have two anchor points on either side, left and right, but it makes it annoying because then that means you actually have to take off the rings on both sides of the camera, and if you've ever done that, it's kind of a hassle to take them on and or off. I've only used one side, just like the Smallrig. I found that was completely secure, so I think it's fine if you just do one side. And then the other caveat comes into play. If you do use the little clips like I use from Peak Design, you can't put them anywhere. There's no rings, there's no place on this to actually have any kind of anchors. So if you do want to use a strap, or I actually use a leash, or I have something on my wrist or handle, you can't use anything to help this feel a little bit more secure, and that just really bothered me. And although it was really comfortable to hold, it's something that if I can't have a strap on it, or if I can't put some kind of leash on it or have it as a strap over my neck, it's something I'm not gonna be able to use it a long period of time comfortably, even though this grip is super comfortable. And then finally, some of the things you'll notice right on top, you're gonna notice a lot of these holes are actually not centered on the camera. So if you are using some kind of hand grip, everything just feels off balanced. And then on top of that, you have nothing on the sides for additional attachments or configurations, very minimal. You have two holes here where your hand will be gripped, but again, this is where your hand is gripping. Usually you want that on the other side. So although this has a really comfortable grip, and if that's all you're looking for, that is fantastic. I think everything else was not really thought through. Thankfully, Smallrig has just released a version of their initial cage, but with a full, 3D printed plastic grip that extends the grip out further. Some of the people I've talked to on the Facebook groups have said it actually is quite comfortable. I'm worried about the pinky here, where it's just not gonna sit quite as flush as I like, but if your hand is extended farther out because you have a grip, essentially it's not really sitting on this little piece of metal, it's gonna be sitting farther out. So I'm hoping that grip is a little bit better. I will have that on the way, but if you're looking to get a cage for your Sony A7C, I would love to hear what you guys are using, what you're enjoying, or what your feedback has been with your hand type and either one of these. Some of the other ones I've seen on Amazon just didn't look flushed out. They look kind of clunky. These two have some really good things going for them, but they're just not quite right. Now, if you're wondering why you would use a cage, or Levi, it's a small camera, don't put a cage on it. Again, if I'm putting a little more gear on this, if I'm using a handle, if I have a mic on it, if I need a light, it's kind of nice to have a cage where everything just works really easily. But I do find myself wanting to take the cage off for just daily use because it's just a small, comfortable camera to use. So it's nice to have that option when you need it and take it off when you don't, but it's not something where my cage will be living on the camera. Unfortunately, both of these don't quite fit my needs. I'm going to be selling this one on eBay, so I'll put the link below if you guys wanted to bid on it as far as the Smallrig cage. And thankfully, I did get this on Amazon. I will be returning this one, even though the grip is super comfortable. If you're not worried about putting any of the anchor points or having any kind of leash, and having multiple tools doesn't bother you, again, not a huge deal, but the comfort level is fantastic, so I still can recommend it if that's all you're looking for. Guys, girls, hopefully this video helped you out. Really appreciate your time. Give the video a thumbs up if it helped you and you enjoyed it. It really helps the channel, and consider subscribing. This is Levi with Tech Ears, and I will come at you later.